Okay, welcome to Double Helix. We are Jung-Ah Kim and Janice McCoy, and we are reviewing Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey.
So, what is this book about? Well, it presents a dystopic vision of a future in which humanity is on the brink of extinction. Melanie, a young girl, and her classmates seem to be the key to the survival of the human race, but she's an unusual girl. And her mysterious nature becomes clear over the course of the novel.
So, did it work for us?
I think the answer to that is yes and
no.
So let's talk about what works.
What works?
I'll take a stab at it. The first part of it was the fast pace. I think it would be excellent as a movie, a thriller.
Yeah, I
movie.
definitely saw it as a movie.
Right. It has action-packed scenes. It has the suspense that's required for a good thriller movie. I think it would do very well in that.
And part of that suspense is the gradual revelation of Melanie's true nature and also the true nature of what this crisis is that's going on. It's about to kill off humanity. You don't get that up front. You have to learn it gradually. And that I always find that fun.
Yeah, and that was actually done really well because it starts from Melanie's point of view. And I personally thought that the depiction of Melanie, who is a gifted child, it was done very well. We can see her inner world, and I think we can connect very well. We also, as the reader, we have to take time to connect the dots in the same time that she's doing it. And that brings out the suspense element very well.
Definitely. It's also creepy, which if you like a good creepy book. For me, it almost shaded it more into horror than sci-fi at times.
There were definitely aspects of it that were stomach-churning.
Yeah, very scary. So if you're into that kind of thing, this could be for you. And this is something you had pointed out, Jung-Ah, was how visual it was, which I think is one of the reasons that it was so compelling and so creepy, and why it feels like it could be a movie.
Right, because they depict these scenes so very well. The descriptions, the scenes, it makes it very pictorial, and that's also the reason why I could envision it as a movie.
Yeah, definitely. Showing, not telling, as I tell you in writing classes.
Right.
But on the other hand, there were parts of it that, for us anyway, didn't work.
Yeah.
Number one being the characters, except for Melanie. Melanie was, as Jung-Ah said, very well drawn and very interesting. The rest, not so much.
Right. I think all of the cliches that we really generally don't want to see are deployed pretty well here. The mad scientist is there.
The cold-blooded sort of Dr. Frankenstein scientist,
You see that. You see the tough military man who has turned out to have a heart of gold.
Yeah.
You see the very warm-hearted, loving teacher.
The nurturer.
The nurturer.
The mother figure.
You see the one who is inevitably doomed. Meaning a minor character that is going to get killed off.
He's the red shirt. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
It had all of that. And I think the problem, obviously, with having such a flat set of characters is that you don't really come out of it feeling that the characters have really changed.
Right.
There's no development.
There can't be because they're so flat.
Right.
Which again could point to perhaps a successful movie because we don't look for the same complexity. I don't look for the same complexity at least not in your sort of fast-paced action sci-fi.
That's right.
Don't necessarily. Sometimes you get them and I'm pleasantly surprised, but often it's not the important thing.
That's right.
So
usually the aim of it is to get through the plot, which kind of feels like what this book is driving at.
Right.
And then there's that part which doesn't work, which is the plot.
The plot. There's the twist at the end, the revelation of what actually is going on that everybody figures out at the very end. Seems shocking and amazing when you first read it, but if you think about it too hard, the science doesn't work. And we don't want to give it away, so we're not going to, it doesn't seem quite fair to the author to not explain why we say it doesn't work, but we both agree after talking it over, it doesn't work.
Right, and to be honest, I was so carried away with the plot that I didn't realize the gap in the plot until
I ruined it for you.
Pointed it out to me. And I realized, actually, yes, there is a fundamental problem here. And we'll leave it to you to figure out for yourself why we think there is a fundamental flaw.
Although if you're one of those sticklers where everything has to hold together, you might not even want to pick up the book. I don't know. Unless what works about it that we've described appeals to you, and then go for it.
Right.
So overall what works is how the story creates its effects versus the character building and the carefully constructed plot. So
yeah. And so, we think it's an exciting read. It doesn't hold up under careful scrutiny, but it's a summer blockbuster type novel, and I think there will be a segment that will enjoy it for that.
And keep an eye out. It might, in fact, be a movie one day.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what they do with it.
I know.
Maybe putting some actors into those character roles will give it a depth. A good actor can take a flat character and make them seem real. So
that's true.
That could save it. I don't know how you could save the gaping hole. You would have to change some of the fundamental science of the story in order to fix it. So
yes. And that's all from Double Helix for today.